Quit following me. Behold!
But that's... Teacher.
The Palais Mermonia sure is buzzing with activity today.
Halt! Huh? Oh, it's you two. Apologies. Must excuse me. I'll be right there. Sorry, I've got my hands...
Everyone's so busy. See...
Hello. You've come at the right time, but you'll have to wait for just a moment, as there are some urgent matters I must tend to first. In the meantime, please, have a seat.
That's all right. We just ate.
Very well, then.
Let's take a break over there while we wait for him to
All right.
Are you done with your work?
Yes, sorry to keep you waiting. Today should be the day you were released from the fortress of Meripede, and it appears...
That's right, and we... Do you have any idea what that...
Judging from your description, that cannot have occurred in any A whale of that size and shape cannot usually be found in the waters of Tevat. Therefore, we can only assume that child is...
Immersed in primordial seawater? But how? And is he okay?
Most people wouldn't be capable of entering in the first place. I'm not completely sure how he could have got... Yes? What is it?
Ah, right! We asked the Duke and he said it wasn't from underwater, so we figured you might know something.
It turns out that I have just received a report about this particular matter. The source of the tremor was here on the surface near Poisson.
The water levels rose?
Fortunately, the water levels only rose for a short period of time, and have already returned. If the change in water levels is connected with the leaking primordial seawater, then the situation...
Navia should be in Poisson, right?
I would also like to go there as soon as possible, but I'm afraid I can't leave just yet. We must immediately... I'll have to ask you two to go to Poisson first.
There's no time to lose! Let's get going!
Please be careful.
Oh no! Navia should be around here, right? We need to make sure she's still... Paimon means we need to check on her.
Relax. There's no such thing as pure freedom in this world. Even the wind cannot blow on forever. Relax. There's no need to exchange pleasantries. It's rather pathetic to force a conversation just to occupy silence. There's no such thing as pure freedom in this world. Even the wind cannot blow on forever. Relax. You think I've got a sharp tongue? I just tell it like it is. If someone can't handle it, maybe that's their problem. Relax. There's no need to exchange pleasantries. It's rather pathetic to force a conversation just to occupy silence. There's no such thing as pure freedom in this world. Even the wind cannot blow on forever. Relax. You think I've got a sharp tongue? I just tell it like it is. If someone can't handle it, maybe that's their problem. Relax. There's no need to exchange pleasantries. It's rather pathetic to force a conversation just to occupy silence. You think I've got a sharp tongue? I just tell it like it is. If someone can't handle it, maybe that's their problem. There's no need to exchange pleasantries. It's rather pathetic to force a conversation just to occupy silence. You think I've got a sharp tongue? I just tell it like it is. If someone can't handle it, maybe that's their problem. There's no need to exchange pleasantries. It's rather pathetic to force a conversation. Relax. You think I've got a sharp tongue? I just tell it like it is. If someone can't handle it, maybe that's their problem. Relax. There's no need to exchange pleasantries. It's rather pathetic to force a conversation just to occupy silence. You think I've got a sharp tongue? I just tell it like it is. If someone can't handle it, maybe that's their problem. Relax. There's no such thing as pure freedom in this world. Even the wind cannot blow on forever. Relax. Relax. You think I've got a sharp tongue? I just tell it like it is. If someone can't handle it, maybe that's their problem. Relax. There's no need to exchange pleasantries. It's rather pathetic to force a conversation just to occupy silence. You think I've got a sharp tongue? I just tell it like it is. If someone can't handle it, maybe that's their problem. There's no need to exchange pleasantries. It's rather pathetic to force a conversation just to occupy silence. Relax. There's no such thing as pure freedom in this world. Even the wind cannot blow on forever. You think I've got a sharp tongue? I just tell it like it is. If someone can't handle it, maybe that's their problem. Relax. There's no such thing as pure freedom in this world. Even the wind cannot blow on forever. Relax. You think I've got a sharp tongue? I just tell it like it is. If someone can't handle it, maybe that's their problem. There's no such thing as pure freedom in this world. Even the wind cannot blow on forever. Relax. It's rather pathetic to force a conversation just to occupy silence. You think I've got a sharp tongue? I just tell it like it is. If someone can't handle it, maybe that's their problem. Relax. squall and fury. Gah!
We haven't seen a single soul all the way here.
What will I ever do now?
Look, there's someone up.
Just stay put. We're coming up. Watch your balance.
All right. I'm not young anymore. How will...
Oh, he looks pretty sad.
My leg! How could this have happened? It hurts!
Just hang in there. Help is on the way.
Oh, it's Navia. She's over there. Hey, Navia, are you okay?
You're here.
We heard there was a situation in Poisson.
Yes. As you can see, the water level suddenly...
Demoiselle! There was a wounded resident next to a building southeast of here. We've already transported him to safety.
He's wounded?
He fell, so it's probably a broken leg. He's pretty shaken up. When the water level rose, he desperately climbed up to the roof. Once the water receded...
He jumped down then. Find the leader of Squad 1 and tell him to take the wounded resident to see a doctor.
Understood. I'll take over his...
All right. I'm sorry. Right. A little earlier, we suddenly heard a loud noise. At first, everyone thought that the rushing water seemed a little odd, almost like the unique color of primordial seawater. Some people, everyone on the street who happened to be close to the water, didn't have a chance to escape. As the water levels rose, they suddenly disappeared. Those who realized what was happening started to flee in a panic, desperately trying to get to higher ground. Many were injured, and the Spina di Rosula initiated rescue operations as quickly as possible. The water that flooded the area no one knows if this could happen again. All we can do for now is try.
How awful.
It was quite frightening indeed.
Is there any way we can help, Navia?
Thank you for being so...
Don't say that, Navia. That's what friends are for.
Demoiselle! We've got a situation here!
Sorry. I need to go for now.
And out she goes. Seems it might be...
Okay, the wounded are being tended to, and we finished a preliminary head count. More support has just arrived. Of course, we should remain ready for anything, and continue doing our best to rescue others. Traveler, Paimon?
Huh? Right now?
Thank you. Huh?
what time of day?
Right. That's...
Navia? Navia, what's wrong?
Sorry. I just... Maloose and Silver... What?
Huh? What happened to them?
Everyone agreed on the rescue plan, but they were helping evacuate the residents, and... I've known them for so long. I could at least hold a funeral for my father, and I know where he rests. But as for Maloose and Silver...
Everything looks so clean after it rains. Even the gravestones. I didn't expect...
I can understand. Besides, the scenery here isn't...
See, it's not just me. I always want to bring something when I visit Papa. Perhaps we might...
How could Master ever be upset with you? Yet the cemetery is the home of those who have passed. Is it?
Buying yourself a plot in advance, are you?
No need yet. But when I do, I hope you'll let me be buried beside Master Callus.
Hey, stop.
I'm quite serious. That way, it'll save us both the trip to see each other whenever you visit your...
That makes sense. In that case, could I...
After all, besides you, demoiselle, the two of us could...
Personally, I believe...
Why are you bringing this up all of a sudden? Seriously. But I'd really prefer not to talk about this stuff. And what do you mean by saving me a trip? I'd promised to let them rest in peace here. I'm sorry for letting you see me in a mess like this. I don't...
Paimon doesn't know how to help you feel better.
I had always thought I could make my wishes come true. But now that I think about it, that never so... Maloose and Silver have helped me so much. I'm so...
You can spend as much time as you need here, Navia. We'll stay with...
By the way, you can have a look at this.
Obena, Khan, Burnett, so everyone else is...
It's okay. I know what you're thinking. And the overall outcome indicates that the cost...
Right! Don't think that way, Navia. One person might... Maloose and Silver were not the price for saving anyone.
You're right. What you said just now was...
Oh!
Seems you've become more eloquent in the time since we last met.
The knave?
Is everything going well on your...
Yes, my people are carrying out the mission according to your request. All the residents of Poisson have been evacuated, and we're preparing to relocate them to higher ground. As for these supplies, we have everything taken care of.
Thank you.
Wait.
We just met recently. Right.
Usually, I would call this a coincidental encounter, but that doesn't quite fit this time. Besides, thanks to the knave, Spina di Rosula received generous support from the Fatui, which allowed us to complete the rescue and evacuation work.
Mutual aid is essential to fostering positive developments. We were already in the area, in any case, so it was nothing. That said, I must say that you're a lot sharper than you let on.
I apologize for all the ways in which I tested you previously. We've never worked with a Fatui before. My subordinates have reported that Fatui soldiers have been observing water levels and taking head counts in various locations.
This is nothing to brag about, nor do I intend to. It is simply the way of powerful organizations to act forcefully, whether they are doing good or ill. As I've told this traveler before, I know of the prophecy, and I intend to prevent the... Lending your organization a hand was a natural first...
Without your help, there would have been many...
Furthermore, I sincerely regret what happened to Maloose and Silver. I only wish that my people could have arrived...
Don't say that. You and yours... As Paimon said, Maloose and Silver didn't choose to sacrifice themselves for any specific person. I've never liked hearing people put it that way. It's like...
You're right. I'm sorry for your loss. Water is life to Fontaine's people, and it also spells disaster. It's no wonder that...
So, you're one who will try to change...
Of course. That is why... By the way, Traveler, Paimon, one more thing.
Alright, then we'll just... Huh? This isn't right.
That is a clever and useful conversation technique, which I do like to use when necessary. But there's no need today. It would not... Traveler, I'm sure you remember that I said we could work together. You and I both know that there may be issues with the Primordial Sea. Previously, it was the fortress of Maripede's sluice gate, and this time it was the water levels in Poisson. Indeed. Allow me to share the latest intel I've received from the House of the Heart. During some recent investigations, a child claimed to have discovered some ruins near Poisson. The ruins date back to ancient. Judging by the dating of the ruins, they may be related to the prophecy and the coming Christ. My people initially came.
So that's why I
wanted to take the children along, but unfortunately, Linny, Lynette, and Fremine have all been dispatched to higher ground. Linny told me that outside of the house, the person, which is why I want to give you this task. The House of the Hearth's members see each other as family, but Linny, Lynette, and Fremine said that they also see you. I'm sure you already understand how earnest they...
Oh!
The intel I just shared about...
Got it! So...
Excuse me, but may I tag...
You wish to join, Miss...
But, are you sure you're up to exploring some ruins?
Well, there's no point in being depressed while we still have a disaster on our hands. As my father's successor, Besides, I'm also doing this for myself.
Since you put it that way, I have no... All right.
Okay,
Quit following me.
Crumble!
Behold! Ha! The wind rises. Gah! Quit following me. Squall and fury.
So, are these the ruins the knave was talking about?
They seem to be pretty...
Let's go!
Just be careful.
The wind rises.
Gather! I will have order!
There is no escape.
Behold! Ah! Ah! Surge forth! Yeah! Ha! Ha! Yeah! Unsightly insects!
Inazuma shines eternal! Ha! 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 Shine down!
Stabilize! Order guide you!
Sa! Ha! Ja!
Watch it! The floor here isn't safe! With the wind.
Ha!
Gather!
Illusion shatter!
See?
Squall and fury! following me.
This place has also been contaminated.
Yeah. And a lot of it, too. A Fontanian would most likely dissolve the moment they fell in.
Right! You can't go down if there's primordial seawater. It's too dangerous and it won't be don't get by my wrong. We're not safe.
No, you're right. I can't do anything in this situation. I'll leave this to you. That complicates things.
In that case, do you want to wait?
The water levels here are unstable, and there's a chance I'll go. Perhaps we'll find the exit just up ahead.
All right.
Behold!
Oh no, it's a dead end! Let's try climbing over from the side.
Too slow. Quit following me.
Wait, there's something wrong with...
Huh? Demoiselle, what are you doing here by yourself? Would you be standing here till dark?
Maybe she just wants some time to herself, Malus.
Yes, it would have...
That's quite possible. However...
Oh. It must have slipped my mind when I... This is a familiar...
Is something the matter, Demoiselle?
Oh, no. I was just trying to recall why we...
Do you remember Mr. Giverny? He'd requested our help before with foreign merchants who had a debt dispute with him, and...
We were headed to see how things were going with him at the moment.
Ah, right.
Oh, Miss Navia. Ah, Mr. Malus. And Mr. Silver, too.
How have you been?
I've been great. Thanks to your help, those bothersome merchants finally realized that I wasn't the one they were looking for. Why, They were knocking at my door day and night. Even my neighbor, Obina, was getting fed up with them.
Sometimes force is required to calm some...
That's right. Oh, by the way, Burnett, what was it that you...
Oh, yes. Miss Navia, these are some flower seeds that I prepared. Please take them. I don't know what we would have done without your help.
Ah, did you cultivate them yourself? Thank you so much.
Why, we can have as many pots as you'd like, Demoiselle.
Perfect. In that case, we'll swap out some of the decorative plants for some of Mrs...
Very well.
Wait. Excuse me, madam.
That's right.
No, it's nothing. This is the first time we've ever met, but your name seemed familiar to me. I've heard this... And why are there so few people around here?
We must mind the time, Demoiselle.
Huh?
Well, now,
Miss Navia, here you are. I've been looking for you. Please, come to the...
My trial? Wait.
Yes, she's right, Demoiselle. It's just a...
Oh?
Look, it's Navia! She's—
And her two attendants are with her! Goodness, everyone's finally here.
There sure are a lot of people here to see the trial. And they all seem to be Karina, Desiree, Joyville, Jolien, Essen. And as for the judge... huh?
Please sit in the defendant's seat. Don't worry, Silver and...
All right, but...
Typically, it wouldn't be allowed, but...
Hey, what kind of place do they think this is?
Come on, do they have
Enough with the whispering!
My dear Miss Navia, have you not yet realized what you've done? As all here know, you are Master Callus's successor. The head, after you took over the Spina, you treated all of us just like the late Master Callus had. Not only you, but your butler, your subordinates, nearly everyone in the
Wait a moment.
Yes, correct. Absolutely right. And that is why you stand accused. You have helped We are one big family, all of us who are from Poisson, inextricably linked. Therefore, this fair and honorable court shall declare you guilty.
Huh? Everything you have said is correct. I have indeed done a lot for my home.
Oh, well.
How? I know all these people. Why are they laughing?
I see.
Wait just a moment. This isn't right!
Melus?
What was that, Mr. Melus? Our conclusion is very clear and unanimous. Let the court judge her now. She's guilty!
Stay here, Navia! You're one of us!
Demoiselle, don't admit guilt. This trial means to keep you here forever.
I wish to exercise my right to defend Our Lady. Mr. Joinville, you only know of Navia's goodness, but nothing of her utterly independent mind.
She was born a free and independent spirit. She has never been tied down by anything. Indeed, even the death of Master Callus couldn't stop her.
Her actions cannot serve as proof that she identifies herself as part of any group. She merely acted as an individual, extending her hand to help others. Please do not mistake her actions as being otherwise.
Really? As an individual, you say? Don't forget, we are all Fontanians here. This is the nation of justice, the nation of Hydro. Even if Miss Navia only voluntarily rendered her assistance, that doesn't change the fact that her beautiful soul must return to everyone. Water accepts all, blends with all. It will surely accept her kindness. Everything is measured here in the nation of Hydro, and in the end, everyone shall meld together. Thus, when a unanimous opinion emerges, that opinion represents justice. Now I speak for everyone. Our opinion is consistent. Navia should stay. We and Navia are one.
And you would call this justice? Preposterous. You are merely jealous that Demoiselle still has a chance to exist as an individual. Have you forgotten how much you all once longed to become individuals, to become independent?
Do you mean to defy our justice?
If your justice is flawed, then why should we acknowledge it?
As you said, we can also have our own justice. Silver and I shall defend Demoiselle. And that is how we will enforce justice.
Ugh, my head... it hurts.
Demoiselle.
Silver, it hurts. My head is spinning. All I can see is stars swirling in front of me. I remember now. Everything that seemed odd from the very beginning. Karina, Desiree, Joyville, Jolien, Essen, and Mr. Giverny and Mrs. Burnett, who we met earlier. Even Malus and Silver. I don't want to admit it, but they're all dead.
Don't be afraid, and don't admit guilt. We will protect you to the very end.
Absurd! Who are you to say that she cannot be judged? We are the majority, and in the nation of trials, the majority is absolute justice. We are the will of all. Don't let them escape! We shall keep Navia here with us!
Mr. Malus and Mr. Silver, must you be so stubborn? How could the two of you possibly hope to stand against the collective? Do not resist. This judgment is fair and just. Navia belongs to us. After all that happened, she should not be left alone in Poisson.
What are you saying?
No more excuses!
He says we're jealous. Jealous? How could she possibly be an independent individual?
What's with these people?
Who's jealous of her?
She belongs to us!
Miss Navia, she...
Silence!
That's...
Monsieur Neuvillette!
Such commotion is prohibited in the court. The accusations you just presented are nonsense and cannot constitute a proper trial. The court will adjourn for the rest of the day. In this, I shall hear no objections from any unauthorized party.
Our thanks, Monsieur Neuvillette.
Please leave with me, Miss Navia, while there is still time.
But...
Go on now, demoiselle. This is your only chance to leave this place. What, can't bear to leave us behind or something?
Malus.
My apologies. I couldn't resist making one little joke once I realized that this shall be our last goodbye.
Malus. Silver.
Quickly, you must come now.
Goodbye, demoiselle.
Farewell.
No, wait! Just a second!
Navia?
You're awake. Good.
I must have been dreaming. Malus and Silver were still alive, and they were defending me at some insane trial.
It looks like you're all right.
Did all the sad feelings cause you to have a nightmare? Paimon could give you a hug.
The ruins you were exploring suffered a cave-in. When I arrived, I found you falling toward the water. You were just about to be dissolved within, but I...
What is it?
I think I saw 2 Oceanids protecting you. It was were it not for their intervention...
Wait, did you say Oceanids? You mean like what happened with...
Perhaps those 2 Oceanids...
I always told them that they didn't have to protect me.
Please come with me.
Neuvillette, are you okay?
Oh, I am...
Why do you look so stiff? Oh, Paimon knows. You're the type who feels awkward when there's nothing to talk about.
I merely thought that we should give Navia some time to herself.
Huh? Why didn't you just say so then? Don't you think it's even...
I suppose so. Ah, Sigewinne. I hope all is well with her these days. Her work in the
No way, don't worry. She's doing fine down there.
I see. Well, that is good. I have always worried...
Oh, and the Duke also says hi. Even though Sigewinne made him do that. He hopes that you...
Thank you. I have indeed been busy lately. And I also...
He still doesn't know what to talk about. So, Neverlet. This isn't going anywhere. Let's try...
Yes, in fact. I had arranged to meet you in Poisson, but when I arrived, I discovered that the Fatui were helping the residents. Amid my astonishment, I ran into the knave, and we had a chat. She informed me that she had asked you to...
Yeah, we originally planned to meet up with you, but we thought you might still be busy with all those official documents.
I'm sorry to have kept you all waiting like that. I'm feeling much better now. I guess we should get going again. Will you come with us, Monsieur Neuvillette?
Yes, if you wouldn't mind my company.
All right! Another one joins the party! Let's get going then!
Time to go!
Oh no, another unstable path. Watch your step.
Squall and fury. Surge forth.
Watch out! There are rocks falling over here!
Now you shall perish! Ha! Kuh! Ha! Ha! There is no
Solidify! This is order!
Ah! 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 Ha!
Rise!
Behold!
It seems we're almost at the top. Keep it up!
Too slow.
Gather!
The wind rises. Ah! Ah! Ha! Ah! Ah! Ha! Wretched vermin!
Stabilize!
Shine down! Inazuma shines eternal! Ha! Kuh! Ha! 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 Ha!
Gather! I will have order!
Ha! Tsa! Ra! Gah! Tsa! Ja! Tsa!
Quit following me. Huh. Behold!
Looks like we've reached the end.
This is the place. There should not be any other hidden...
The path sure had some twists and turns, but it turns out that this place isn't actually that big.
Stone slates. It seems...
Perhaps we should just leave them...
There are 4 locations in total, but only 3 stone slates.
The surrounding walls...
There's something written below. Let Paimon see. Reason dictates that this...
It feels like someone left these slates and these words here for a purpose. But...
That would fit the circumstances dictated by the prophecy, yes. Indeed.
There's a person kneeling here. She seems so dedicated. And there's a whole bunch of other people behind her doing the same. She's facing this...
And is that Lady Farina in the third image? Did the high...
And is that a ring of people around?
The fourth image. I know this one.
The people will all be dissolved into the waters. More information should be hidden in these slates, but I fear I cannot easily uncover...
Don't blame yourself, Monsieur...
Ooh, Paimon's getting the chills just... This says that it's the history of the future, right? That means...
I really...
Still... Paimon...
That's right! If the images are in chronological order, shouldn't the fourth, the waters drowning Fontaine, come...
And yet the order is reversed here.
If we go by timing, Lady Farina only emerges in the third image. That means that the person in...
Egeria, then. I had never met her, but her appearance here does... The previous Archon kneeling before the floating island in the sky.
Did she herself commit that sin? Also, I'm still wondering why these ancient stone slates are here at all.
Who would have created these...
It seems that any further clues will have to come.
In that case, there's no time to lose. There's nothing else to be...
Yeah, we better get somewhere safe for now.
Let's split up here. I'm going to check on what's happening with the Spina. You know how it is.
You still...
I'll depart as well. Thanks for your hard... Traveler, I will go... I'm sure that you're concerned about this matter as well. If you have time, drop by my office.
Are you really gonna tell...
She has long been harboring secrets, and will not give them up easily. Which makes it all the more my duty to ensure...
All right, we'll leave it in your hands then.
I will be carefully considered.
Traveler, Paimon, our safe house at the Fleuve Cendre is always open.
We're finally back!
Welcome back. We've got a special menu prepared.
Yay! And there's good food too! No, the boss is the best. Ooh, Paimon's already starting to forget what
Oh, that voice. Is that...
Huh?
It's you two.
Mona?
Seriously, nobody just uses a scry glass whenever they've got...
Still, we didn't expect to see you here.
Well, I have some business to attend to here, so I booked a hotel in the city.
I was just out for a stroll. Why did you think I was from Fontaine, though? Is that because Magistus doesn't sound much like a... Well, I used to have my own surname, which was, well, some other thing. Either way, the old hag told me when she took me as her there was nothing for it, really. She really is amazing at astrology, so I changed my name to what it is now, according... Nope. Although it is used by us in place of surnames, it...
Wow! Imagine including a boast.
I reckon so. In any case, I'd give my disciple a name like this as well, if I were Astromancer Barbeloth Trismegistus.
Whoa, that's a long one.
My name means Mona the Great Astrologist. As for the old hag, hers is, in plain speech, the thrice as great Thrice
as great?
I know, right? That's just how she is. She used to call herself Magistus, actually, but...
Talk about excessive.
Magistus is thus the calling card of our school, so to speak, which makes it about the same as a surname. It's...
That sounds terrible! But anyway, you're not...
Well, I was born in...
Oh, that's a good thing then.
Speaking of that, I'm sure you're aware that a bunch of things have happened here in Fontaine, right? There's something ominous about it. Well, the water, I mean. That was the main reason, yes. Just a while back, the Steambird invited me to take part in a panel, and the invitation was sent quite early on. I don't think anyone expected
What do you make of that prophecy, Mona?
What I can tell you is that I'm an astrologist. I'm afraid, but on the flip side...
A visionary? Sounds really powerful and all, but...
Of course. The old hag could do it. And I'd bet there are others amongst those Hexenzirkel colleagues of her... All right.
Thanks, Mona!
Oh, well, this is some...
That's the great...
Indeed!
Oh, sorry. I came to see what all the commotion was about.
Oh, whoops. Guess we were getting a little too carried away there. Well, I'll go tend to my own business.
And there she goes, quick as rushing water. And here we are with the Spina guy giving us suspicious looks. If Paimon hadn't spoken for you, it'd be you getting all the weird looks! That's more to... Good morning! To be honest, Paimon's still feeling kinda sleepy. But it's time to get up!
following me.
You're here.
Is something...
Monsieur Neurvalette and Lady Farina, they seem to...
Like I said, I've already explained everything.
And yet the problem has not been properly solved. It is not my intention to offend you, but please, tell me... Look at this. This is a list of the victims from...
You mean...
We did not arrive in time to avert this disaster. I will say this once more. You must tell me. Yesterday, I found 3 stone slates in some ancient ruins near...
Seriously? You're questioning me like this is a court case now. But you found...
That's correct. Which is why I came to ask you some questions. There should have been 4... The second of these slates depicts the previous Hydro Archon Egeria kneeling before a floating island in the sky, as if confessing something. Do you know nothing of this?
I don't. I've never seen...
I'll ask you again. Do you really have no My deciphering the Hydro Archon Egeria once had to confess to, or apologize for, a certain sin.
All gods don't have the same secrets, you know. She was herself and I'm me. I understand your concerns, but I'm...
Forgive me for saying this now, Lady Farina, but I have long known of your various secrets. There are several indications that you have been investigating the... This is not strange in itself, considering that you are the Hydro Archon. But it is strange that you should also... You have never been as superficial as you have presented yourself to be, nor are you a fool.
Well, since you know about my secret investigations, then you should know I'm actually... There's no point questioning or suspecting me. You're the Eudix, but you're still my subordinate. You should be following. Just trust in me. You're Archon, and do as I say. Never mind whether you can truly convince yourself to or not. It'll all turn out fine. That's all I have to say. We do not... Oh! The opera's about to start.
Did Farina not notice us standing by the door? Wonder what's up with her. She was smiling. Huh. She didn't seem in the...
I assume you've been outside...
Oh! You noticed!
She was in a great panic, though I cannot discern the reason. Our discussion reached impasses. Still, I do not understand. Dialogue is the basis for understanding, so why did she keep refusing to... Everyone in her inner circle has noticed that she is hiding some secret. The issue is her attitude. We may have to create a situation in which she will have no choice.
Oh?
Normally, people will only reveal the truth when standing trial. Perhaps we must have the Hydro Archon experience.
But Farina's seen so many trials, and she's really good at dodging questions. How do we make sure that...
We will need to consider this thoroughly, join forces with various parties. If at all possible, I would prefer to recuse myself from this. This may be cruel to her, but all Fontaine is in crisis. The information a god possesses is too precious. But who will lend us their aid?
Well, speaking of which, it was pretty smart of you to think of hiding here.
Poisson was just involved in a disaster, so it's presently devoid of people.
And here you are drinking tea like it's the most natural thing in...
That's what family should do.
It's nice to enjoy tea here, you know?
care for...
Lend me your ears, everyone. Or perhaps one of you might like to start us off. How about you, friend?
Me?
Then, how about you, good...
I fear that I will cause the mood on this boat to become as somber as...
Well then, I guess we're lucky we've got a local like me to organize things.
That was a little long-winded, don't you think?
Oh, you might be right. Anyway, to cut to... As for what that is, well, let's start by saying that we'll...
Oh? How intriguing.
Well, it's just an expression, really. One that I just learned from Chlorand. And used on the spot. So, let's invite her to explain it.
Huh? Didn't you...
Oh, come now. Your work doesn't involve much public speaking, right? This is a good chance to practice.
I see.
He is glad that you consider him your...
In that case, do any of you have experience?
Not that I recall.
Fremine and I once used a wooden stick in a basket to catch wild rabbits when we were younger. As for Lynette... I've also...
I'm afraid not. You may or may not have heard, but though that was their name, they did not hunt animals, but rather various monsters. Today, Fontaine's monster population has already thinned greatly, so the hunters have blended back into society. Taking up arms in a trap comprises of the following components: bait, a trigger, and a containment. So, if we were to build a trap together, right now...
For me, I would prefer something basket-shaped. Pigeons and rabbits will see the... Our line of work requires a deft hand, and we're some of the best in the industry, so...
You used some of those techniques while moving the people of Poisson, didn't you? My subordinates mentioned that you even performed some magic for the bawling children.
Yes, and I even managed to gather some intelligence in the meantime.
I'm afraid I can't claim that as my strong suit. I prefer more stable methods, like placing bait...
Calm and steady.
And I can be their assistant.
With discretion,
I'd probably use some sort of mechanical animal. Papa once bought me some small clockwork squirrels, mice, and such. When placed in the forest, they can attract... I remember that you liked those too, didn't you?
I did. And that would be a good way to go about it. If they're realistic...
What about you, Monsieur Neuvillette?
I fear I do...
That makes sense. You usually solve... But I do have one more question. If we were to create a trap now, how would you...
I would like for it to be effective, but bring no harm to the prey. A more gentle...
Kind, as always. However, our intention doesn't necessarily change the containment. If we wanted to kill the prey in one strike, we would need a powerful implement. However, that also goes for prey that must be...
Wait...
Only a hunter who's a true expert at subduing their prey can snare it without...
So...
We hadn't thought of seeing ourselves as hunters.
If our means of capturing and dealing with our prey is to put them on trial, then the hunt... But we shall require much more courage than any hunter to judge a god.
Oh, so...
It's been a tough few days, hasn't it? Paimon thought they'd be at least a little frightened. Well, Fremine was, now that Paimon thinks about it, but everyone else... it's hard to say. Paimon doesn't have any experience. After all, you're the most reliable person in the world. Did you just pour some tea? Then what? Paimon's never seen that cup.
Don't be frightened. I'm just joining you two for...
Who's that voice?
Ah, have you...
Wait, you are familiar.
The voice from the sky, I fear that... you're feeling lost now, just as you were feeling previously. I sensed that confusion. Consider me a passerby, just accepting a commit... The prophecy. Yes, what has been prophesied.
What?
I believe you have witnessed a failed attempt with your own eyes. Can everything in Tevat so easily... Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods, are the things that you shall see different...
What is she talking?
I believe that you understand, right? So ultimately, this was good tea.
The voice. Hey, it's...
Well, I see I've walked in on some lively banter.
Luna!
Fine, just fine. Not all...
did she...
Why, yes, it was Charlotte. You remember her. I'm in full support of her.
That's right!
Ah, yes. About what we had discussed. Huh? Goodness gracious. Are you serious?
She said that even the god's gaze has blind spots. Pretty bold if you ask...
The Hexen Circle members are certainly anything but ordinary. As for the mage named N, the old hag has mentioned her a few times. She said that N sense of... But I've never met her. And if she were still alive, she'd be... Well, suffice it to say...
Whoa. The Hexen Circle sounds like a scary...
Their abilities alone...
Well, it's not like...
Yes, she... Perhaps it is something... Traveler?
Oh, we're...
I see. I guess you could consider me. Even so, perhaps that's what N was trying to tell you. I did originally...
Huh. You do have a point.
There I go. It was worth trying, I suppose.
Paimon feels kind of moved by what Mona said. Hey, Traveler. Let's walk around the city, shall we? There's a few spots we always like to walk by.
Squall and Fury! Too slow.
Huh? Our names are written... Let Paimon see! The underwater stronghold, the Fortress of Meripede, has continued in its noble autonomy. My recent attempts to enter the fortress bore little fruit. Huh. Thus, did an Outlander friend become the focus of this report? A blind adventurer with their white fairy, legends trailing in their wake. It is said that this mysterious traveler once... So while the fortress's interior remains a mystery behind closed doors, do not fear, for the tales of the journalist Charlotte's biggest scoop yet, the Traveler's Trail, World Walker. Huh. Charlotte took so many awesome photos of us and we never... She hasn't been able to get a hold of anything at the fortress, so since we're easier to find, she's used... Ugh, seriously? Well, fine.
Quick, the wind rises. Too slow.
We're here! Paimon... Hey, quick! Look! That's the limited edition, only 16 slices a day cake! It was so delicious the last time we tried it!
1 slice of cake, please.
Someone showed up after all! Oh, wait, you're the one from the Palais Mermoni.
Oh, are you here to buy cake too? It's...
Wait!
That's right. Even he has his own preferences when it comes to food.
Do you come here often?
Usually every day.
Every day?
It's part of my daily schedule, apart from work. I shall have my cake.
Then what if someone told you one day that this place would be closing soon, and you wouldn't get to eat cake here anymore?
But why would it close?
Well, Paimon doesn't know either, but maybe...
Oh, the prophecy. To be honest, I haven't paid much attention to that. No, still, no. It's the same for eating in
Huh.
Don't be sad. Excuse me, could I have... These 2 slices are for you. Sijuin said that this kind of expression you're making...
Oh, you know
I sure do. She was born before me, and she sometimes comes... She said that I've got something else to do, so I'll...
And there she goes! Alright, let's dig in. Paimon's sure this... It's more delicious than... Sure would be nice if we could always eat delicious... Oh! We're near the Steambird office! Let's go look for Charlotte and have a chat.
Wow! If it isn't the Traveler and Paimon!
Ha! You've got some nerve! You just used us to make some quick mora!
Oh, you needn't worry about that. I heard that you were in Poisson some time back, so I sent you a letter. It's all right, though. I've set aside the amount intended for you. I've even set the table.
Really? Oh!
You're almost a little too easy to win over, Paimon. If I were a journalist with ulterior motives...
Oh, Paimon knows you're not like this.
Still, what brings you here all of a sudden?
When Mona mentioned you, we thought of coming to see you at work.
I see. It seems you've already So she mentioned me? What did she say?
She said that you're a real
Nice. In which case...
Huh? So you're...
Oh, of course it doesn't. That was more like live photography. What I'd like to do is dive deeper and ask you to talk about the things you've seen and...
Yeah, are we?
Why not? If I say you're worth an interview, then you're worth...
Oh, in that case, we'll just...
Oh, so that's a yes? Ooh, splendid! I'll tell the editor-in-chief and me... Whew, so much to get done now.
Wait, Charlotte, Paimon's still got a question for you.
And what's that?
If, just for example, Fontaine were to be...
Huh, that's the prophecy you're talking about, isn't it? I mean, I do hear about it often. If you're seriously asking, then I might try and think of a way to leave Fontaine. Oh, but I'm still a journalist first and foremost. That means I have a duty. From what I've seen, most people don't know what they'd do should the worst come to pass. In truth, it might be better just to behave like normal. So in all likelihood, I'd probably still be prepping at the office for that interview of ours. I know what you're thinking. That sounds a bit sad, but I've always... Just think about it. If this nation really were to be suddenly destroyed tomorrow, but I still successfully finish an exclusive... And then do you know what I'd do? Well, I'd write that story, send it for printing, and use messenger pigeons to get copies out to the various nations. I'm not a dreamer, nor am I a workaholic, but I do love my job, and I'd be proud of leaving such an article behind. I guess you could say that... But anyway, that's my answer.
That's so nice. Anyway, let's go and take a look at the sea, shall we? The sea breeze and sea... Paimon's been thinking. If it wasn't Fontaine, but all of Tevat that would be destroyed tomorrow... No, Paimon should ask... We've always been moving to the next destination, so we haven't spent much time thinking about these kinds of things. You mean, still traveling? Huh. Feels like he'll grow, but it's still better than the Fortress of Mirapede, that's for sure.
So the two of you are still here.
Oh, you're from the Palais?
Yes, I'm Isadora. Monsieur Nervillet sent me to look for you two before. I heard that after... Not at all. I'm well aware that you're friends of his. Actually, yes, inside the Opera House. The Maréchaussée Phantom has...
A riot?
Well, that said, Lady Farina was watching a performance at the Opera House, and while she was resting, loudly accusing her of doing nothing about the prophecy crisis. And before she could respond, others started to join in. The crowd continued to grow, and protests against the Hydro Archon started to break out.
So people have started to put the blame on Farina. Guess they finally found an outlet for the pressure they've been under due to the prop.
I agree. People will naturally rely on gods, as is customary.
So what happened after that?
Seeing that the situation was spiraling out of control, and that further argument was pointless, the Maréchaussée Phantom had their hands full maintaining order, and did not catch where Lady Farina had gone. Only when things had stabilized.
So, you mean she's...
That's right. The Maréchaussée has dispatched many people to... That said, I don't think there's much to worry about. She is a god, after all. Good. Monsieur Nervillet sent me to tell you about this...
Don't worry, this is...
Is that...
Well, sounds like we should hurry over to Poisson then. If we know Farina, she won't try to fix things in this situation. And, as we also know, she may be loud and dramatic. When Nervillet was talking to her in the Palais Mermonia, and she heard about Poisson, it would be hard for her to ignore being accused by the pub. Paimon thinks Farina's probably taken the opportunity to slip away to Poisson. Huh! Well, what do you think? Paimon knows the answer, of course, but Paimon can do the analysis to back it up, too. In that case... This place looks deserted. Guess all the survivors must have evacuated already. All that's left here are signs of devastation. Ah! That's Farina, right over there!
Should I just give up? This is all meaningless. What was meant to happen did happen after all. I'm sorry. I'm so... Give up, Farina. There's no point in holding out. I'm sorry, but what can I even do? Who's that?
Don't worry, Farina, it's... Farina, you were crying...
What do you mean, tear stains? Who did that uncivilized rabble think they were? Disturbing my enjoyment. They even dare to tout the... Oh, and I'm sure Neuvillette and those people from the Maréchaussée Phantom are freaking out right next to them, too.
Hey, there she is! The Hydro Archon's over there! Quick, after her!
Farina, those people seem to be after you.
They are? They're just some rabbit That's against the rules. I can't let them get...
Farina just ran off! Quick, we have to catch... This should be the place, right? Hey, Farina! There's a good hiding spot over here! Quick, come to Paimon before the rest of them cut...
What?
Hurry, they're almost here!
Fine. I suppose haste is...
Could Farina... Paimon's exhausted.
No, I mean, I merely gave in to the sheer enthusiasm they display.
Yep, that's a...
What's happening? The ground...
Yeah, a quake of this kind preceded the flooding in Poisson, didn't it?
It can't be. It's happening again.
Well, there's no need to worry too much about that. Novelette's made some emergency plans, so the
Yeah, but the people... It's true. I've been investigating the prophecy. I once had informants all over Tevat. I've tried all kinds of ways, too, to hold back the sea. Anything to keep the coastline from advancing. But all my efforts proved to be futile in the end. Really, the truth has been clear to me for a very long time. We cannot make an enemy of the divine. No matter what we do, the will of the heavenly prince... Give up. I do love the sound of that phrase. Indeed. I've thought about giving up so many fate. But just now, it all be... As long as the final moment... Don't worry. I will keep hope alive for every... Well, that's enough for now. I got the impulse to play the stricken maiden. Don't take any of what I just said serious.
Come on!
Share, that's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this would be my duty alone. A witness. Yes. And if Tevat is in its entirety, if...
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes my opening performance. Now, without further ado, we may proceed to the trial.
So, this is what it is. Yes. Do not forget, however, that...
May I interpret these words as your refusal? In that case, you will have the opportunity to defend your honor through a
You withdraw your... I see. It seems like you have made up your mind.
Paimon can't believe it. She just surrendered.
What the heck is going on?
Well...
Lady Farina.
It would seem that there has...
Looking for excuse...
I raise my hand. I'm sorry. You are not the only ones. But now, I, Farina, will use this trial to show the world... This time... Applaud and rejoice. One of the most Mark my words. This shall be one of the most exhilarating and brilliant shows ever to grace the stage of Fontaine. The trial of the Hydro Archon, Focalor.
Woohoo! Oh, no. Why does it feel like Farina just took over the whole thing? Also, even though she's still acting super dramatic, she is taking this seriously this time, right?
All right, then. Who will be my...
The court asks the prosecutor to please take the stand.
Is that so? Very well. Then please... Also, please allow me to ask, just how much work did you do to...
Well, we did do a lot of prep after the meeting that day.
I can go over the tasks assigned to the Spina di Rosula. since they were rather straightforward and easy.
Navia, the president of...
Most of the people who participated in the disturbance this morning were my subordinates. They changed into plain clothes, and the people's resentment against their Archon has been building as moreover, according to...
So, you mean...
And their goal was to force you to...
That's right. That house was...
As the super ultimate version, the volume of the box was increased by a whole order of magnitude, and the distance it traversed was the entire gap between Poisson and Aranias. Its cargo, of course, was an arc. My thanks, Farina. Of course, this performance was only made possible with Father's support. That we had to select a...
So, in other words, the earthquake that we felt...
That's right. It wasn't a sign of another disaster to come.
Then, I can guess Nervilette and Cloran's pop. You gathered a crowd, prepared a stage, and made also that as...
Yes, that is correct.
Well, Cloran,
Thank you.
As for you, Traveler, I suppose your role was... You'd make sure that I didn't notice anything amiss before revealing yourself as my prosecutor once we'd arrived. Oh? It's fine. The stage is already set, so there's no reason to disappoint the audience. Let's see this trial.
Sir Prosecutor, please allow me to... This is a document that Miss Charlotte applied for and received permission to share with you during the trial.
Huh? Charlotte wanted to give us something? Oh, so she's here. Oh, let Paimon see. Wait, then that means this document is a perfect timeline of every... So in other words, we can refer to this anthology of evidence every time we want to use something from our journey as evidence for an argument. Let's quickly confirm the information in it. Just think of it as a refresher, all right?
You defeated... I didn't... This is the first... You defeated the Hydro Archon in the very first duels you took part in. According to Miss, the fortress of Mirapede was almost destroyed in a single day. The words of someone as extraordinary as a witch. I nearly lost my awesome friend Navia. To be honest, you defeated the Hydro Archon in the very first duels you took part in at the Opera House. That's one for the history books, all right.
The prosecution and the defense are both in position. The trial shall now begin.
Oh, come on, Nervilette. Just fast forward to the part where the prosecution lays out my offenses. As the defendant and the lead actress of this performance, of course, it is only natural for humans to
That's true. But my charge here is unrelated to your conduct as an Archon. Instead, I would like to charge...
Wait. What was that? Lady Farina's a fraud?
Hey, I came here thinking that we were going to try the Hydro Archon for forsaking her duty, but...
Charge accepted. Lady Farina, do you plead guilty? Lady Farina.
I plead not guilty. There is no way that I, Focalor, otherwise known as Farina de Fontaine, a member of the Seven and the Regina of all waters, kindreds, peoples, and laws of Fontaine...
Yeah, even though Lady Farina can be rather eccentric, isn't it going...
Yeah,
I have cause to believe that common sense will prevail in this case. Many of the members of the audience have known me as the Hydro Archon, and see? Even the Oratrice has decided to show me its favor. Are you if you wish?
An argument with near impossible odds, huh? We have to not only refute...
Well, I tried. And if I...
of all, you may be a member of another long-lived race, which would...
Who gave you that idea? Was it the knave? You'd sink so low. Words against me.
A curse? I once thought it possible that the aura... But in light of this claim, perhaps what I sensed was...
You sensed it too, huh, Neverlet?
Lady Farina.
Well, it is true that it's a...
Well, don't start celebrating too early now. Even if besides, for centuries, manifestations of my... One need only to turn their eyes towards the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal in this very opera house. Oh.
You tried to reference the Oratrice. But weren't you as confused as all the rest of us?
Didn't I make myself clear at the time? The decisions of the gods are not...
Lady Farina, I believe a reminder of your current While the court is in session, the principles of justice and the law must come. You will prove yourself unable to defend against the prosecution's charges if you continue to withhold... That was no trick of rhetoric, Lady Farina.
So, you neither knew why Child was declared guilty, nor did you understand, instead of having been created by you, the manifestation
of the real Hydro Archon. It is true that I did not, but the Oratrice handed out that verdict. You can't.
She's still throwing out all kinds of excuses. Seems like she's confident that we won't be able to produce
my power as...
If that poses a concern, I'm prepared to...
You don't need to go that far.
Aren't you the Hydro Archon? Or is it that you can't...
Indemnitium! Yes! It's all because of Indemnitium! All Archon. Thus did I give up all of my divine power to provide everyone...
Isn't that...
Yeah, no matter how generous an Archon can be, how could they give up all their power? Can a god with no power...
It seems like nobody's buying Farina's
Hey, come now, everyone! I'm still the same Farina you knew, please.
If what the prosecutor said is true, she really has come...
Did she deceive all of us? And all of our parents and grandparents too? And all of our...
Enough! That's enough. Tell me then, if you have no evidence of another Hydro Archon's existence...
Wow, she came up... It has been established that all Fontanians...
Since you insist on claiming to be a god and not a human, then there's a method that you can use...
Miss Navia, please apply to serve as a temporary attorney for the prosecution before addressing the...
Super sorry, Monsieur Chief Justice. Now, I've brought some seawater from Poisson. As everyone knows, a massive flood struck the area, including those... So, Miss Farina... If we are to believe that you are indeed the real Hydro Archon, touching the seawater would have no effect on you. But if you don't dare to touch it, then we would have basically proved the... Oh, and I must remind you that after the disaster at Poisson, nobody wants to see any... I do hope you'll act prudently and choose the simpler path of admitting guilt.
Navia from the Spina di Rasula. The Spina has governed Poisson for many...
If Lady Farina is indeed just a human, she's probably Fontanian like all the rest of us.
Lady Farina, this test has been unilaterally proposed by the prosecution, as it falls outside the realm of standard court...
Well, of course he had to tell her that, but...
She's just staring at the water without saying a single word.
What's going on? Is she really...
Due to the inherent risk of the test, Lady Farina, you may...
Hey!
I'm fine! Look at me Will you believe me now?
Miss Siegewien? If you're present, Miss Siegewien...
Siege?
Don't be nervous. It'll just take a few...
Please announce the results of your...
As everyone doubtlessly saw, Miss Farina was displaying symptoms of She was experiencing the adverse effects of exposure to primordial seawater. The extent to...
Thank you, Miss Siegewien.
Oh, wait. What did she just say? I didn't...
Well, considering your tendency to run from your problems, we did a... However, after extensive discussion, we exchanged it for a sample that is not concentrated enough. We don't want any...
Yeah, so it's a great thing.
I can't... Listen to me, everyone. Think about it. Also... Please. Anyone, just listen to me. I swear, I really am your Archon.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway...
With all the things that have been said,
I believe the time for arguments and presentation of evidence has come to an end. If there are no objections, we will move on to the final judgment.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway me. She's too stacked against her now.
In my capacity as Chief Justice, I shall now render judgment on Farina's misrepresentation of herself as the Archon of Fontaine. As a human who knowingly deceived her fellow citizens, Farina is... guilty. We shall now turn to the oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinale. According to the judgment of the oratrice mécanique...
Well, what's wrong? What's the...
No.
Isn't that correct?
However, to be punished...
That's actually one of...
The one and only time...
Farina's been...
This outcome is indeed quite strange. Is this sentence really appropriate for the...
Yeah! Even Fauché wasn't sentenced to death by the oratrice!
Indeed. But now, the oratrice seems to have deliberate...
Excuse me, if I may interrupt. Is the trial still...
Fremine! Oh, you finally made it.
Mm-hmm. Any mission...
Is that the first? Huh. So the knave privately...
I looked everywhere and finally found it at the bottom of the sea. But Has the trial already concluded? Then...
Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Fremine. Please allow me... Traveler, I believe that you have already seen the other
Huh? So what do you see?
I believe I have now made sense of the Hydro Archon's crime.
Huh? Isn't the Hydro Archon just guilty of deceiving her people? Oh, wait. So when you say Hydro Archon, do you mean...
In truth, everything that you've encountered in Fontaine up until this point. However, I'm uncertain as to how much sense they currently...
Okay, let's... The first stone slate describes what you just said. It seems to show... Does that mean that Fontanians are transformed? The second stone slate shows... This must be the point when the third slate shows the That reminds Paimon. Well, the fourth slate is the prophecy. We didn't believe that such a crazy disaster could happen at first, did we?
We know from the case of the serial disappearances of young women, and this...
That doesn't...
It's not as simple. When not, the stone slates show the people...
That doesn't... That doesn't sound quite... That doesn't...
Perhaps what is about to take place, the true sin of the Hydro Archon, and the original sin cast down... The prophecy... If...
They'll dissolve into the primordial sea. The Hydro Archon was sentenced to death in court, shocking everyone present. Navia fell into the water. The eruption of the primordial sea. The prophecy's contents... Paimon gets gets it now, but then it feels like...
Let's hear them.
Incredible.
We're...
All Fontaine, the evidence... Oh, and according...
Indeed.
Yeah, and it follows from the content of the first slate that she probably anchored that could also...
The Hydro Archon's true sin?
And yet, after many hundreds of years, the Hydro Archon's creations have turned around to try to judge the Archon within the Opera Epiclese.
Yeah, so wouldn't it be trying to show the image of the Hydro Archon also falling into the sea once the prophecy has been... In the end, did Paimon get all that right?
You've made some keen deductions. I must say, given how much you still don't know, however, while you were able to decode all the information on the slates, they've also been etched. When we were at the ruins, now that the slate collection is complete,
What?
I believe I should share this truth not only with you, but with all the people of Fontaine as well. Your hypotheses regarding the origin of Fontanians and the sin in the Fontaine of old, the previous Hydro Archon sensed the yearning of her Oceanid familiars for life on land. The Oceanids were enamored with the beauty and romanticism of human beings, and wishing to have those experiences for themselves, expressed to the... However, not one to give in, she eventually found a way to create permanent humanoid bodies for her familiar. She poured pride. But if Fontanian... Of course, the Hydro Archon never received permission from the heavenly principles to create a new human race, and thus, the Hydro Archon and all of her creations came to shoulder the original sin of appropriating the power of the primordial sea. That is the true history.
So you...
That's way too much information for me. I think I'm just... Wait, but if that's the truth, we can't let the Hydro Archon be sentenced to death? After...
This really might be too much information.
Alas, your hypothesis regarding the third and fourth stone slates was inaccurate. The slates' respective positions are, in fact, correct. A key point of the visual on the third slate is how all the individuals depicted, they have not been dissolved, which implies that the nation of Fontaine is the nation of Hydro. You may also recall Navia's experience. When she fell into the... Therefore, that the people of Fontaine shall try the Hydro Archon. Yes.
I think I'm following now. So, what you're... In truth, everything we've...
What should we do?
Huh. No matter what, the prophecy...
If that's the case, does that mean the scene in the fourth...
Traveler, I would like to point out another small fallacy about the fourth slate. You probably thought that the eruption of primordial seawater beneath the fortress... However, I believe that rather than being a sure sign, as for the root cause of the catastrophe, I believe... This eruption was just a small warning of the thing...
It was both true.
If we're talking about a true culprit, that could only be that thing.
The truth, the original sin.
was way too close! How did that thing just burst into the Opera House? Wait, was that the huge whale you saw in your dream?
So we've met it at last. I understand very well that whale does not belong to Tevat. It has been greedily and once it has finished
You said that when the Hydro Archon first created
Precisely. That whale finds the... Therefore, when it left the Primordial Sea, it decided to make its...
We just barely managed to push it back, right? In that case, won't it come back to target the people?
That is correct. Indeed, it is more accurate to say that we should thank that Harbinger for buying us some time. Without him, from the way he looked, he must have been fighting the creature for quite a long time.
That battle maniac. We've always known that he had a special connection with that whale, but we... Anyway, now that we know that this whale is the actual cause of the disaster...
It is too late. It had already absorbed too much of the primordial, even if the entire...
We've already done everything we've come...
Indeed. That's not how a grand performance...
I'll fight it to the end.
So the prophecy will be fulfilled no matter what, huh?
The prophecy. Yes. What has... Just as prophecies are... Ultimately...
What's happening with the oratories?
I believe it is preparing to carry out the death sentence.
Farina! No, I still need answers.
You...
Sorry. That shall...
You are not... Fusolo.
Oh, that wasn't my goal, of course. The heavenly...
Deceiving the...
It's all because of that pernicious prophecy. Dreadful, wasn't it? Everyone doomed to dissolve. One was not amused. She knew and as one of the seven, she also knew full well that one defies the... So yes, as you have no doubt surmised, it was a rather... I spent a terribly long time mulling it over, alone on the ocean floor. I had to I'm in... Although, looking back now, it was hardly the inheritance one dreamed. But one can only play the hand one is dealt. I did not choose this, any more than I...
So you were also once one...
Yes, I was. I always dreamed of becoming human. And I still do, even now. After becoming a god, I separated my divinity from my body and spirit, leaving behind only a self that was as naive and bewildered. The me you see before you now is... She could feel joy, sorrow, and everything. Her strength. But in my eyes, Farina's humanity was what made her perfect. She was perfectly... Anyway, all part of... Do you still remember the in order that under the curse I placed on her, so long as I, Focalor's divinity, continued to exist, she could not die. But nor was she free to live her life in the... Instead, she was forced to take the stage in the opera house, to embrace the role of leading lady. I suppose now you probably understand.
But Farina, even though she is...
It has indeed. It's been, and all along, she's been playing her part in the most unimaginably long, unbearably lonely.
The wind rises.
Oh, who permitted you to come onto the stage? Now, I understand your... All right. It is not my intent to reprimand you. There is no need to state your name. I am... Dear audience, the performance is experiencing a technical difficulty, but worry not. The guards shall resolve it soon enough.
There is no escape. Torn to oblivion. Ha! 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 Shine down.
Gather. Behold. Ha! 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 Ah! Ha! 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 Yeah! Unsightly insects!
Solidify! Order guide you!
Hey, what gives? The audience is still watching me, you know. Guards? Wait, where are the guards? Guards!
Go! Cross over!
Gather!
Illusion shatter! Phew!
Farina.
Huh? Who's that? Who's calling me?
Be not nervous. Be not afraid.
Wait a moment. You're... Mirror me? Mirror me.
The prophecy.
What prophecy? The people...
Oh.
What's... But...
I will tell you.
But if there were...
I suppose this...
Huh?
Don't worry.
Play at...
That's right. If you can...
But...
Don't worry. Being a human, you remember.
So...
To but
A trial, huh? What should I say to Ahem. I'm sure you've all heard. In truth, as the god Focalor, once again, this... I thought I might...
That's the new Hydro Archon. Is this some kind of joke by the Maison? I would have thought that a being that surpassed...
Hey, did you hear that? She even told us to send her
Shouldn't gods be all-powerful? She's being so modest.
If you ask me, perhaps the succession didn't actually happen.
Wait, what's going on? Right. Calm down, Farina. Assertive. Now, I was wondering if some weak puppet were to what... You may Now then!
Ah, so that was just a performance. How could I have forgotten that we...
Her personality? It's quite shocking, to be honest, but I suppose it's a better look than before.
Such a fascinating and bold deity. How wonderful! Our future may yet be bright after all.
It seems I've turned them around. Best follow this flow and My dear people, whether you acknowledge me or not, whether you trust me or nay, I say to you, we have heard it said that this nation's sins, the scales, may law be the prayer on our lips, may judgment be our worship. There is, so long as
Yes! Oh, yeah!
Lady Farina.
Besides,
That's true,
no need for fright, and do not take what I said before too seriously. Go now.
Lady Farina.
No need. All right.
He's...
Lady Farina.
I see. It's as I thought that all manner. Really?
I'm...
The day is finally over, but it's good. Maybe this is...
Lady Farina, here are...
There'll be no need for that.
Lady Farina.
Indeed, my...
Lady Farina, we're detecting significant...
Understood. I feel a
Lady Farina, I've heard that the first...
What is it, good citizen?
Are you crying?
Uh-huh. Oh. This must be the overflow of hydro from my person. Well, can't quite help being the... So, hundreds of... I never have I want to die of... All I can do...
Farina, you don't have to shoulder, although I don't know.
Share. That's impossible.
But even if you're bird, just share it with me.
A witness. And if to... He's right. But if things don't play out as expected, the people... Ice. No, Farina. You shouldn't be selfish. But what if it's really all right? Farina, you've worked so hard for so long. Surely it would be okay to put yourself first for once. Just this once. Is it such an outrageous thing to do anyway? To find someone in whom you can confide your frustrations and sorrows? Surely it could not hurt. If you let this opportunity slip through your fingers, it might never come by again. Think about it long and hard. All you need to do, dear spectator, is to witness my performance until the curtain.
Fine.
So even for...
Yes, she did very well. If she had... It seems that trusting humanity was the right decision.
I believe that I understand how your deception works. But that is only... How would you build on this foundation to save the people of Fontaine?
Ah, good. Of course the Iudex of Fontaine has pinpointed the crux. I'm sure you...
I've always suspected that it had its own consciousness. And Lenny did mention that he heard a It now seems that...
And then I became one with the oratories, taking Fontaine's gnosis with me. Yes. Alas, in truth, it is no enactor of justice. Oh, you... My work. But really, the vast majority had to be...
It was all a part of...
Indeed. This power accrued over 5 centuries, but...
So the oratrices... The destruction of that divine throne... If I do not misunderstand...
Returning what... In other words, this was all done to return the authority of the... Oh, what? The authority of the ancient dragons shall soon be yours once more. Oh...
All you've done throughout the years is just so you can sacrifice yourself.
I've never quite seen it that way, you know. Even now, I'm quite pleased. Hydro Dragon, don't cry. I must say, had it been within my rights, Egeria stole the power of the primordial sea. And speaking of justice, I have always believed that so, if the theft of the primordial seas, then, leaving matters of procedural right and wrong aside, the descent of the Fontainians as in other defying the... At this point, we... Iudex...
So when I was invited to the court of Fontaine to serve as Iudex, at last. In the beginning, I was uninterested in human existence. But these 5 centuries of living alongside them, things being as they are. Surely you know that I could never declare them to be guilty.
The hour of my execution is almost here. For the sinner, the curtain call has come. I know I may not sound it, but faced with death, I find myself a little afraid. Perhaps this is one thing both gods and humans have in common. Farewell, Nervalette. I hope you've enjoyed the part you played these 500 years.
Codex Nouvellette, hereby declare, people of Fontaine, your sins are forgiven.
One client.
Was that bright light some sort of misdirection?
But since we're all still alive...
It's time to end this.
Didn't you say just a...
I have gained the strength sufficient to deal with it. Through certain means, I now have the ability to... We should seize the opportunity to pursue our quarry. Traveler, now that the oratories can no longer function, I require an executor to help me mete out just the root of the calamities befalling Fontaine. The beast that enacts the prophecy. Its name is the all-devouring narwhal. Come with me, traveler. The hour of execution has come.
We're going to execute it? But how are we going to do that? It's huge!
I've already done my best to separate the power of the primordial sea from the whale. But considering the size of the beast, I cannot reach the power source. Unless we can find a way to attack it from within. I shall share a part of the ancient dragon's power with you. We shall look for an opening together. I can feel its sorrow turning into hostility.
Gather!
Shine down!
See? Time to go!
I will have order!
The all-devouring narwhal cannot resist its instinct to devour. Continue to trigger its hostility, and a chance will present itself.
Thingy over there. It looks really scary. See? This isn't good. Phew.
Manifest the authority of the ancient dragons. Witness the might of the primordial sea.
Shine down.
I have granted you my protection. Do not fear. Seize the moment and use my power to suppress its root from within.
Illusion shattered.
The wind rises. Yeah! Yeah! Cry louder! Stabilize!
Shine down!
Cross over!
Gather!
There is no escape! Now you shall perish!
Ha! Yeah! Go!
Thanks for helping with the cleanup. It should have been my job. It was just supposed to be a short private training session for me. I didn't think that my disciple and my master's pet would start... Actually, I had a feeling that it would happen at some point, but they bumped into one another earlier than I thought. What a blunder. I suppose I'll have to swing my sword 3...
That power.
It's just that he gave us the impression that she was the...
I simply did not have anything to say to the weak. So you may speak to me as equals. I have to... that kind of power. All in all...
Miss Skirk?
The point...
Well, being that this pet... So what sort of person is your master?
Oh, right. So you don't... His name is Sertologi.
Huh?
I am
Huh. So Master is insufficiently famous.
The foul...
Still...
Ooh, that one we've heard! Rhine Doctor's part of the Hexen Circle. She's obeyed...
Oh, so you do know that name. To be honest, but I suppose you...
Wait! Didn't you also mention a visionary person?
Actually, never mind that. That the all-devouring narwhal used up nearly all... Such roiling hydro energies will prove difficult for the planet's deep seas to digest. As such, the fontaine back on the surface... In other words, the prophecy that you've been fretting over.
What?
Not to worry. Focalor has already managed.
In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only Farina will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
Hey! Help! Over here!
All hands, initiate emergency rescue! Hurry!
Hey! Lend a hand!
water's receding!
It's a miracle!
Water's receding.
We didn't dissolve. The prophecy was wrong. The prophecy was wrong.
The prophecy was wrong. Old soil, skyship, the various people always... Wow! Paimon barely recognizes the people in the reports. Are those really Juria or Navia? They sound like...
What do you think? Pretty enthralling, huh? The value for these big Edwin's assistant, Jurier, create...
Paimon's curious...
And that's exactly...
Are you...
Oh, this time...
Squall and fury! Gah!
Navia! Oh, it's...
Hey, we're just...
I'm here to update my... let me introduce you. This is Mr. Garunt. Our residents are hard...
Hello, Miss Charlotte. I'm a big fan of you. But if you don't mind, could you not emphasize our role too much in your report? It's not charity we're doing here.
I get where you're coming from. I'll keep it as simple as possible. Or would you be willing to feature as friendly neighbors?
That would be fine. Thanks.
Oh, you're back too. How are things?
We finished laying down the construction material.
Huh?
Well, her reputation's greatly risen after that whole duel business with Miss Farina. So she's here in Poisson to wait out the heat.
There's too much to consider in the reconstruction of Poisson.
Oh, wait just a moment. Do you mind me asking a few questions? You know, about how you felt before the duel.
Forget it. I'm sure you can find a...
I see you're the same as always. Well, if we're talking about doing things for my sake, you might as well just take a few more photos of me. Or, of course I will. I'm not gonna let him off that easy. All right, then.
How did it go? Was it a good shot?
Not bad. Your addition really helped the composition of the picture. All right, hang on a moment. Let me snap a few more All right, that should do it. I'll be back here later anyway, so let's call it a day.
You're very quick.
Speed is of the essence. Also, not to brag, wow, you...
I'll hazard a guess that this is how you got that interview at the Fortress of Maripede.
Whoa, you're well informed.
That's a...
In truth, I told him that it...
You're right. Stay safe now. And tell me if you...
Wow, guess we're here again, huh? There's a real
Looks like you've been missing us.
Duke! Did you come?
Of course. I'm here to welcome you and our dear Miss Charlotte.
It's an honor to finally meet the much-rumored Duke. Thank you for consent.
No need to thank me. But that said, I shouldn't be the focus of your interview.
Of course, of course.
All right then, this way.
Hey, no need to be so... Miss Charlotte.
It would seem that Miss Lorvine doesn't want her face to appear beside that.
Sir, please don't say things.
But it looks like dear Mr. Jurier denies it.
No, I just... This is my first...
Now, I might not look it, but I actually did meet Mr. Edwin once. And I'll be honest, I enjoyed chatting with you more. The boat that brought about a miracle. The ark that saved the people. Why, you recreated him. Still, if I might ask, where's that flying...
Huh! Looks like Charlotte's trying to get herself another...
I have to apologize, but that ship is presently in the bowels of our factory. I'm afraid it won't be easy.
Really? Well, then in that case, could I have an interview with you to make up for...
You already know my answer, I'm afraid. Best you interview our head nurse instead. Or perhaps you'd like to take another photo?
Did you really have to use the word couple? Well, then, 2 solo photos will do.
Is my hair messed up? Please, someone help me out.
Things sure are getting pretty lively here. Oh, seems like everyone's here. Would any of you like...
Ah.
Hey, Miss Charlotte.
Sure. Do I have to smile? So, how have things been...
Same old same.
Other than that flying ship, I got a tad too much attention.
That's why I decided to let the interview go through. We should direct more public opinions toward the behind this...
You're too kind, sir. I believe that you too should have your day in the sun.
I see. Lots of things.
He sure did...
I'll tell them that there's...
Oh, actually...
What change can there be? The fortress, as to what Miss Farina's departure will mean for the nation, and if our laws and governance will be transformed, we'll...
Hey, everyone! The photo shoot's done.
Good. In that case, let's call it a day.
Thanks for your cooperation. Come on, Traveler, let's go.
There'll be a next...
Maybe. Who knows? I might write a story about the underwater fact... All right. Last stop, the docks.
Behold! Yeah! Squall and Fury! Gah!
Navia mentioned that she stayed in touch with Linny and the others after working together. Apparently, they've been at the docks distributing...
Traveler, Paimon. And Miss Charlotte.
Would you like a magic pocket?
What sort of...
It's a wondrous bag that can be used to carry many things. The water level has returned to normal, but if you see any of your things floating around, you can use this to carry.
Trick a friend? I wonder which of my friends would fall for that.
You could just make a friend like Fremine here. Isn't that right, Fremine?
Is this what you meant by, I'll help you make some more friends?
To be honest, that sounds pretty sweet. Could I have your contact, please?
You
sure are working hard to help Fremine socialize.
He was the one who proposed doing this. He even wants to—
Yes, I was planning to first introduce Pear as an assistant, and later Fremine himself. In the future, I think we can leave underwater.
That said, would anyone want to see a diver escape underwater?
Oh, it'll work out.
Lynette, could you
Got it.
My, that Charlotte is rather perceptive. She got rid of everyone the moment she realized I had something to say to you. Father says— After Lady Farina left, Father and Monsieur Nervillet opened negotiations, during which he gave Fontaine's gnosis to her as a
diplomatic gift?
Yes, I was quite surprised at first myself. But when I thought it could have been done as an apology for the incident with Lord Child, or as thanks for his help in tying— Furthermore, Father did also lend significant aid to—
Well, that's true, but this is a gnosis.
I would agree, but I've also heard that it seems that Monsieur Nervillet—
So there's some reason for this.
I suspect you'll have to ask him about that yourself. Yes, speaking of which—
Isn't he real busy and stuff? But back to the topic. The gnosis was given to the knave, right?
They say that he's returned to Snezhnaya to recover from his wounds. I hear that the recent disaster really did a number on his health.
That's true. When you think about it, we've had loads of run-ins with the—
So shocked by such a simple switching of sides?
Father!
Well, what do you know? Come to the docks to see how my children are doing and meet the traveler by chance.
Are you going to take the gnosis?
That is our duty as harp. Don't be too preoccupied with sides. The goal of the Fatui concerns not a single place or person, but the entire world. With such a switching my masks is something Well, that depends on many things. No, as for you, I very much look forward to our next collaboration. Good things cannot be achieved alone, and you've proved yourselves to be great partners. A vision?
And that's a wrap for me. Huh? You...
Greetings, Miss Journalist.
Hello. If I'm not mistaken, there are diplomatic channels I'll need to report.
That is correct. So forgive me, but I will not be able to serve as a subject in your article. However, feel free to write as much as you'd like about it.
I will.
The sea breeze is quite pleasant. I shall...
Farewell, Father.
Oh, she has such an intimidating presence. I didn't even dare to take a picture. Thankfully, I've already wrapped up all my pre-scheduled...
Don't be too nervous. Why don't you take a magic pocket before you go? Here, traveler, Paimon.
To move things about?
That's right. I guess this... All right, then.
Well, guess we send Charlotte off. Shall we go see how Nervillet's...
The wind rises. Quit following me. Behold! The wind rises.
The entrance to the fortress! Ooh, he really is there! So, you really are here, Neuvillette! Paimon didn't think you were going to have—
Really? Oh, I suppose you must have met Mr. Linney. In any case, you came at a good time.
Aw, Paimon's glad that you remembered. Thank you for keeping us on your mind, what with you. Alright, let's have it then. How was Fontaine actually say—
It is strange how words can often leave a bitter taste in the mouth.
Whoa. So that's what happened? But Paimon still doesn't quite get what you—
For me, the Fontanians, but so long. In other words, when
Focalor must have counted on you to make that decision as well. Your verdict was the key to— Yeah! And
it seems from your expressions that you still have more things you wish. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. Ah, Lady Farina. I related Focalor's words to her faithfully and completely. She simply said that she was tired. Having said that, she then—
but—
You need not worry. I will make arrangements to ensure that she will not want for food. In truth, I am somewhat happy for her. The wear and tear on her spirit, but now that she knows—
What about you?
After Focalor, this matter will die—
Looks like you're still—
as an elemental dragon. As such, before I attend— Additionally, the high—
That's true. Wait, but the various Maxim machines in the city are all still—
As I am now, I have full command over New Musia, and it can serve as a complete substitute. Another reason.
Wow. This ancient dragon's a—
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Oh, that's right! They say you've given it to the knave as a diplomat—
Leaving aside their intentionality, the two Fatui Harbingers have indeed done their sole remaining goal in Fontaine. At least at this point, the Oratrice has ceased to function. The Gidro Archon's divine throne is now no more. As such, it has lost all meaning. If the Fatui have impure designs, then we might as well accede to their request now.
What complicated considerations? Paimon thought you were just giving it—
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. You will soon be heading to Nat. I'm afraid that I have little talent as a travel guide, so all I can do— As far as I'm aware, Natlon can be said to—
A nation of dragons.
No, I suspect that I would not find myself welcome there. Unlike ancient dragons such as myself, the dragons of Natlon have Natlon is also the nation. There is one other the Harbinger known as the Captain has thrown his—
The captain.
I suggest that you fully prepare your— Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. I have investigated his case along many avenues, and I have learned that he once fell into an unknown— But whether it be by sentiment or reason, that should not have been enough to consider him the root cause of the disaster. As for the judgment passed by the Oratrice during— Whether it was due to that liability—
Guess Focalor— hang on a second. Back when Fontanians hadn't yet become real humans, were the children that—
Life has always—
Yeah! Lynette said the—
In truth, those Oceanians— Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
When we spoke to Linny earlier, he mentioned that your attitude towards giving— We guessed that there might be some reason for it that only you—
No wonder the House of the Hearth is the Fatui's intelligence. So regarding this specific issue, In truth, I exchanged some further words with that lady named Skirk after sending you two back to the surface. It went something like this.
Well, we're going to head topside to see what's going on. You hurry over soon as—
What next?
The all-devouring narwhal isn't. I can finally catch the scent of your power. It is the authority of the planet's primordial dragons. But with something I'm sure I've encountered something like this before.
I do not know what...
Of course. You should have the remains of the third descender.
Remains?
According...
Well, that much is true. After Focalor's divinity faded, but I fear I have never heard of it described in the manner that you just did.
I've been training with my master, the Fowl, ever since I was young. And I have never returned. It is only natural for those who are greater than humanity to possess a different sort of common sense. Regardless, you should probably get rid of objects of to live in itself is a
What do you mean by that?
No need to fret. These are just my...
This third descender you refer to.
Master never mentioned them to me. If you're interested, though, I could ask him. I'll be sure to pass the answer.
Next time. You believe we...
I do. Wait. I have a disciple of my own, don't I?
That's what she told me. Whether it would prove useful or not.
The remains of... So that's what the Gnosis actually are. Paimon just thought they looked like chess pieces.
All the same, assuming that there was no misunderstanding or special metaphor at play, that is...
And she said that it would bring misfortune and that you should check it, which is why you get...
If she speaks the truth, then I would simply be putting Fontaine at unnecessary risk. I had guessed that you might already be familiar with this concept, but that means that the... I wonder...
Like... No, let's not think about this stuff. Comparing the Traveler to the dead third descender, that's what you say.
I too believe it unwise to make too many blind...
All right.
Yes.
But...
I suppose that would be the mystery. I suspect not. But once in a while I too would guess that if life flowed... And what...
Quit following me. Squall and Fury!
Stabilize! Order guide you!
Inazuma shines eternal! Ha! 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 Ka! Ha! Hy! Shine down! Sa! Tsa! Tsa! Ha! Pyre, pyre, pants on fire!
Gather! I will have order!
There is no escape!
See? Go! Tsa! Go! Ja! Yeah! Tsa! Tsa! Ha!
Illusion shattered!
Go! Tsa! Ja!
Behold! Huh. Huh. Yeah.
Solidify!
Shine down!
Sa! Ha! Ja! Yeah! Tsa! Ha!
Ah! Ha! Ja! Ha! Ha! Ka! Ja! Ha! Quit following me. Too slow.
Now you shall perish! Ha! 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 Ha!
Take them. I have no need.
Ha!
But a momentary distraction.
The wind rises. Ha! Ka! Ja! Ja!
Stabilize!
Illusion shattered!
See? Go! Huh?
Surge forth. Behold!
Gather! This is order!
Shine down!
Phew!
Solidify!
Illusion shattered! Inazuma shines eternal!
But a momentary distraction.
Squall and fury. Huh. The wind rises.